So I would like to admit I'm not a doctor. I've never been to medical school, thank God. And everything I say may not be specifically, totally, completely accurate because I haven't done a whole lot of intimate research. But I know the basic idea, and that's all you need to know. How can you stay healthy, free of illness and disease? Now I'm going to tell you something, and it's pretty simple, and you will not get it from the health care industry. Intentionally, the healthcare industry withholds vital information to you and me, to the entire population. If we could do some very simple things and keep us healthy and keep us free from going to the doctor, that would destroy the healthcare system. So here's one good way to stay healthy. Now, once you ingest some food, as you take it in through your mouth and down through your esophagus, goes down into the stomach, where it mixes with some acid, and then the acid helps to break the food down, and then it will proceed further in the digestive system into the colon. And once it's in the colon, it could take a considerable amount of time for that food to complete its cycle. So it could take possibly up to 2.5 days after you ingest something for it to go down through the system and then eventually end up as excrement. So what happens is that the food is broken down with some acid, then it goes into the smaller intestine, okay? And then out the larger intestine, out the back door of your body. So what is going on in this process? What exactly goes on inside of this tube? And it's a tube-like structure. Very simple. Bacteria is present. Yes, I said bacteria. Yes, the kind of stuff everybody's trying to avoid. And because of modern food processing, the bacteria content is extremely low. Now, one of the clues in all of this is milk. And the whole idea of removing bacteria from milk was a mistake. Was a mistake. Was an intentional mistake to make the population unhealthy, because raw milk contains enormous sums of good bacteria needed in the digestive tract. And that's just one example. The whole idea of pasteurizing milk was a misnomer, and the population was taught to hate the bacteria inside of raw milk. Now that's just one example. So when the food is being processed in the digestive tract, the bacteria is at work. And within the human body, there's what they call good bacteria and bad bacteria. So in a sense, there's a war that goes on inside your body after you've ingested any food materials. And that war will take place whether you're aware of it or not aware of it. And as that war takes place, the balance of bacteria needs to be correct. And because of our current modern diets, we lack a lot of good bacteria. Hence, the system in your gut becomes weakened. Now, this whole system here is your immune system. You heard people talk about immune system. What is it? Well, you're looking at it. It's the bacteria war that's going on. Whether you like it or not, whether you're aware of it or not. Now, we all need a good amount of what's called good bacteria, so that the good will win over the bad. And that war is occurring in here. It's actually occurring 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if you want to look at it this way, that right after you've ingested a meal, the war for that meal could go on for maybe up to 2.5 days. So if someone says, oh, I think it was the such and such I just ate that made me sick. Well, maybe not. It might have been something that was eaten 2 days ago, because that's still working its way through this complicated maze of tissue called the colon. Right? So where am I headed with all of this? And you know I'm not really that good at getting to the point, because I enjoy the story and I enjoy talking to you. So, where are we headed? Here's where we're headed. What can you do? Well, this is my latest acquisition. And this, I tell people, I take the most powerful probiotic you can take. And I thought I was taking it at 50 billion, but I found this one at 100 billion. Now I take 1 capsule a day and try to take it on an empty stomach. Now this is a refrigerated version. If you go to a common store and you go where there's just sitting on the shelf, those are somewhat okay, but they do not have the potential and the power of these ones that are refrigerated. Okay? Now this is just one. You can find others out there, I'm sure. Okay? Now I just started with this one, so I'm trying to get used to it. This might be the most potent, powerful probiotic on the earth. I don't know. Maybe if you know of another one more potent, you let me know. Now, it gives you the actual count of 100 billion, but it also tells you the strains. That there are 34 strains. 34 regiments in the army. This is an army that goes where? It goes in there. Goes in your gut. Okay? Now, I just started on that one there. Now, previously I've been taking this one. Sorry, my light just malfunctioned on me. 50 billion. With how many strains? 18 strains. And I thought I had the most powerful one with this one. All right. Now this one has a little extra added feature of weight formula. And once you get these going in your digestive tract, it really does help you not be as hungry. Now I'm not saying it's an instant cure for weight loss type of thing, but what I'm saying is that it can and does help. Okay, I'm just trying to show you some examples. Now, once again, the medical industry, the healthcare industry, is not going to ask you questions about your gut. When was the last time you went to the doctor and the doctor said, "How's your gut? Are you getting the bacteria you need?" Why will a doctor not ask you that question? Mostly because the healthcare system does not want you to know that if you maintain a good, healthy gut bacteria balance, basically you won't get sick, you won't acquire anything. Now I say this hesitantly, and I'm not saying it to make anyone feel badly. I'm saying it because I care about you, whoever you are listening to this. I have not really been, quote, sick for many years. Now, I'm not bragging. I'm sharing. When I woke up and I realized that within my gut, my colon, there's a war. And sometimes I was losing the war, even if I thought I was eating healthy. Then I would feel weak, tired, and possibly acquire some minor form of illness. But once I realized that this region down here that looks yucky, that's not really a great word, but looks like a bunch of worms, looks like a bunch of mishmash of tubes. It looks like something you don't want anything to do with. And indeed, when the system decides to empty itself, you don't want anything to do with it. But the system claims to you and says to you, you will have something to do with it. You need to find the restroom. Now this is kind of a sideline because I do some reading and I do like to watch lectures. The tissue that's down here in your gut is a brain in and of itself. In fact, the book I was reading is something like the second brain of your body. In other words, this tissue will tell you, I am going to empty this system, regardless of whether you agree or disagree. The tissue will tell you it is time. This tissue speaks loudly, and it speaks loudly what? When you realize you need to go to the restroom. Now, there's only a certain amount of time at which one can stop the process. And then there's a point at which the tissue, because it has a second brain, a brain of itself, will say, it's time to empty the septic tank. All right? All right, so this tissue is intelligent. All right? It has an intelligence. Now, you can question what I'm saying, but I will challenge you to defy it. And I'm going to tell you something. You'll lose. Not only will you lose, but it'll be kind of messy and smelly. All right. Now, those of you, there's the stomach, and that's where your acid comes in and starts working on the food before it gets down into the colon, before it drops down into that complicated system. There's your muscles and everything around your esophagus. And there's sort of a good view of it all with the stomach. Things will go in there for maybe an hour or so, I don't know. Get the acid, get it started, and take it on down through in the colon system, and then eventually work its way out. So what was I trying to tell you? Well, pretty simply this. Just go out and get yourself some probiotics. I don't care which one you get. This is not a commercial for this company or that company. This is, I care about you. This is what I discovered. This is what has helped to make my body fairly consistently healthy and give me the ability to fight anything. It's like putting on armor. And when you go out in the world, who cares what they say is loose? Who cares what they say is going around? You don't need to worry about it. Why? Because you've got an army where? Inside of what? You guessed it. Your gut. Do not settle for the freeze-dried versions of probiotics. Go to a good health store. Get the ones that are refrigerated because they're live, they're active. They're crying out in those little capsules, hey, I want to go down into your gut and I want to fight this war for you, man. Because the food you give me is not good enough. The modern diet is depleted of vitamins, minerals, and bacteria. Louis the Pasteur was a fraud. That's a whole nother video, by the way. And vitamins are a whole nother video, too. So I guess I'm going to end this video because I have a tendency to go on and on and on. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. Sometimes you can't stop me because I'm on a roll. But back to the microbiological activity inside of your digestive tract. Yes, get some probiotics. Take them regularly. Don't miss them. Pay the money for them. And get the good stuff. And just take one a day. And I promise you, you will start to feel better. And I promise you that you will be able to fight off whatever the heck wants to intrude in your immune system and make you sick. And if you are sick, let me just say with this one good word, we have a healer. And the healer's name is Jesus. Jesus can still heal a sick body. And ask God to bring healing to your sick body if you have illness. And consider this great option to begin to build up an army in your gut system to help fight off all these diseases that are possibly wanting to attack you. Thank you for watching, and an extra thank you if you got to the end of my video.